Hey guys, John Toland from Half Avenue here. In this video I'm going to talk about my Neve or Rupert Neve Designs 511. The Rupert Neve Designs 511 is a 500 series microphone preamp. And from what I understand and what I've read about it online is that it is supposed to be similar to a Neve 1073. Now, disclaimer, I have never ever got to work with a real Neve 1073. This is the closest thing I've ever come to it, so I don't know how accurate that is, if it's a knockoff of it or if it even comes close, but for me it's been a great preamp. It's also, fun fact if you're from Texas, Rupert Neve Designs is actually now in Wimberley, just outside of Austin. I actually got this preamp in trade for a 65 Gibson LGO that I had. It was a small body acoustic guitar. I traded that guitar to a guy, he was like a praise and worship guitarist, for a Sennheiser 421 and this preamp, which I felt was a pretty good deal because I wasn't using that guitar. For me, rare vintage gear is not a good investment because I'm either going for something rugged and reliable to take out on the road that sounds good, or just something that sounds good in the studio. It doesn't need to look flashy or have any kind of bells and whistles. I just want the sound. And so I invest in just what I think works for me and sounds good, so I just didn't need a vintage guitar. It didn't have a pickup. I felt weird drilling a hole in it to put a pickup in it. It also wasn't in the best condition, but anyway, it was a good deal for me, and that's actually one of the first pieces of better quality gear that I got to kind of kick my studio off in the right direction. So it's been a great deal for me ever since because I use this thing all the time. Okay, so here's my Rupert Neve Designs 511 microphone preamp up close. So up here at the top we have the power indicator. We've got phantom power here. Got phase inversion here. This is to turn on and off your high pass filter, and then this is the texture knob. So we'll start up here at the top. This is your gain trim. You can go -6 or add 6, so that's so that you can get in between the tick marks on this thing. And that's one thing I really love about this preamp. It's great for vocals because if you have a vocalist that is very dynamic, goes up and down a lot in volume, or if they're not used to working a mic really well or whatever else, and you have parts where they're clipping, if you can just get it close, then you can bump it back right here and you drop 6 dB, and then when they get soft again, drop it right back up. I've used that little trick multiple times in recording and it works great. Then here we have the high pass filter, goes all the way down to 20 hertz and it goes all the way up to 250, I think. Yeah, 250. And you can turn that off and on here. And then now, here's where it gets cool. This is the silk button, right? And then this is your texture. So this is the minimum amount and then the maximum amount. And what this does is when it's off, this preamp is completely discrete. So that means that it doesn't add any color, it just raises the volume of your microphone. But when you click this little silk button on, it adds that overdrive or that color, not like overdrive like or distortion like in an amp, but the kind that's pleasant that you look for in a microphone preamp, which is why these Neves are sought after, from what I understand, is the transformer overdrives, I believe, and that is what sets the Neves apart, was their transformers. So you can actually turn that on and off. So if you want something really crispy clean, no texture, no color whatsoever, you can just pop that button right there and you've got a completely discrete preamp. But if you want to add color, you can turn it right on and you can add as much or as little as you want here. And I mean, that's a lot. I never really use it. I usually use it on vocals and I keep it about right there. I try to be tasteful with it, but it's fun to get out of hand with these things a little bit. By the way, I'm using a Lindell audio lunchbox and I do not have thumb screws, as you can see, so I've got a little bit of Scotch tape holding that there, and I know that's not the most professional or best thing to do, but I never got around to buying the screws, and it's just something that always slips my mind when I make orders from Amazon or Sweetwater or anything. But that's my Rupert Neve Designs 511. I'm very happy with this piece of gear. Again, I don't really have the original to compare it to or other similar preamps, because all my preamps are very different, so that I can get different colors and tones throughout my recordings. But for what I use it for, I think this is a great little piece of gear. So in summation, I am a big fan of the Rupert Neve Designs 511 preamp. It has worked out on vocals for me really well. It's also worked out on guitar really well, and it's worked out as a room mic preamp for drums really well. I think that as far as if you're thinking about buying, should you buy it? If you're buying it to use on vocals, I think definitely, if that's your main goal. That's what I've been using it on, vocals, and miking electric guitar cabs has come in really handy. Now, as compared to other preamps, the only thing I have to compare it to is my Apollo and my 4710D. It's hard to compare because they're kind of night and day. They do different jobs. But as far as what I use it for, I think it was a great purchase. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you could subscribe to my channel and ring the little bell so you can see when I have new videos. Got links to all the social media down at the bottom for me, Half Avenue, Katie Bell. And you can also hop over to Half Avenue's YouTube channel and you can see some of my music. You can see some of the artists I've worked with, some of the things I've recorded, and just other people in my community. Thanks for watching.